Good morning, Mount Olive Church. Friends of Mount Olive Church, happy Wednesday morning to you. Andrew Short here, filling in for John Mullins, who also is, or today I'm filling in for Ron Vickers, kind of feeling under the weather. So me and him just kind of switched days. So I'll share my screen here with you. Hopefully, Brother Ron will get feeling better and he'll get his own. We'll get his own for Friday. So it's going to do kind of a short devotion here. Hopefully, this morning. Get my screen going here, kind of fighting me a little bit, but from Brother TJ's message on Sunday, and so there we go. All right, so we'll go back to, and it was kind of funny. We've been a little bit kind of getting into the Chosen there. If you've not watched it, it's pretty good. Give that a go. It's an interesting kind of look at that. Brother TJ mentioned on Sunday, kind of a it's not funded by Hollywood or anything like that, but it's just a neat look at things that happened back in Jesus's time, with a little bit of license, I suppose, on some of the stuff that could have happened. The kind of the minuscule things. All the Bible stuff seems to be pretty accurate. But anyway, we were right at the point of the leper. We actually ended up watching that episode last night, and then going into the lowering of the man through the roof. And so we were right here in Brother TJ's sermon. So it was cool to watch that. But the power of forgiveness, I'll be short this morning. The thing is kind of weird, but the thing that hit me the most as soon as Brother TJ mentioned it on Sunday, being the mathematician I am, when he pulled that calculator out on the phone, I was like, I perked up instantly. We use a lot of calculators, different calculators in high school math there, but I certainly perked up. And I love the illustration. We'll get more of that here in just a second, but the power of forgiveness. And the verse that Brother TJ was looking at there in Mark was chapter 2, verse 5. And of course, he's got this paralytic man laying in front of him. And of course, everybody's watching the scene. Again, the scene in The Chosen is awesome. All these people gathered around watching, all these religious elite kind of standing there too. Like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Is he going to heal him? They're kind of on the edge of their seat. And then he hits them with, when Jesus saw their faith, he said to the sick of the palsy, he hits them with, son, thy sins be forgiven thee. And so not only is it not what they're expecting, it's like, whoa, now, this is something that only God could do, and kind of instantly they think that, and Jesus responds to what they're thinking. But, it's just so cool to the way Jesus uses this whole thing. He could have just healed him, went on about his life, but how he uses this to show what really is most important, right? More so than physical ailments or anything else in our life, is for our sins to be forgiven to us. And I just love the way that kind of works out. So kind of another verse here to go along with the calculator. The Brother TJ's example of the calculator was to hold it up and this big, huge number. And of course, I'm trying to multiply. I didn't have my phone with me. I'm trying to multiply in my head as he's going. But the point was this big, huge number, right? This big number of sins that really none of us could number if we really, really sit down and think about it. But this enormous number of sins that we have had throughout our life. And when we ask Jesus in our heart, when we ask Jesus to forgive them, it's as simple, it's as straightforward for him as hitting that C button, that clear button that takes it back to zero, right? And so, just to further kind of add upon that a little bit, 1 John 1:9 here says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive our sins and to cleanse us, right? That C button, that maybe the C stands for cleanse, right? Cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So when we sin, and this is not a license to do whatever we want, we know that, but when we do, and we inevitably will, when we ask him, when we come with a contrite heart and we ask him to forgive us, man, that C button he's just holding it down, isn't he? And it takes it away. I love that illustration to me of the, no matter how many you've got in there, maybe you're listening to this and or maybe you were listening Sunday and it really hits you. I've done too much. I've done too much wrong. My number's bigger than the one TJ said, right? It doesn't matter to Jesus, right? He can hit that clear button. It don't matter how big that number is. It can be hanging off the screen of that calculator, right? He can hit that C button and it will be gone. Just as easy as that for him. All you have to do is ask him to do that. Get that, fall on your knees. It can be beside your bed. It can be at church, going to the altar. It can be wherever. When you feel that tug, man, just fall right there. Ask him to forgive you. He will cleanse that big number, whatever, or small number. Maybe it's a relatively smaller number than what you think somebody else is. It doesn't matter. It still has to be reset to zero, right? That's the only number that's going to get us into heaven, and we can't make it zero on our own, right? He has to reset it to zero so that we can get in. So hopefully you got something from that. Kind of a shorter devotion this morning, I guess, for me. But just that was the thing that stuck out to me, how powerful Jesus is and how good he is. What a good God we serve, I believe was the quote TJ said right after this, that he is able and willing and wants to set that number to zero. He wants to cleanse and forgive our sins. All we have to do is come to him. So hopefully you'll do that. If you've not, if you have, let's remind ourselves today how amazing Jesus is for doing that in our lives. Be in prayer. Today's Wednesday. Tonight's our commission service, so come out to that if you can. Be in prayer for our ones that are going to Nicaragua, for leading up to it, the nervousness that comes, for safe travels on the way there, and that they'll share the gospel like we know that they will. And so we are definitely thankful for them. We love you guys. We thank you for listening in. Hopefully you got something from it. Have a great rest of your day. See you guys.